Americans consume an average of 1,996.3 pounds of food per year. This includes grains, dairy products, poultry, meat, fruits, vegetables, fats, and caloric sweeteners. People are constantly eating, never giving a second thought about whether what they are eating is safe or not.
The makeup industry is also big. It is worth more than $50 billion in the U.S. alone. Beauty product users spend on average more than $100 on cosmetics each year.
The U.S. is also known for buying more pharmaceutical drugs than any other country in the world. And all of this is made possible by the FDA. The FDA is responsible for regulating all of the food, drugs, and cosmetics, among other things, that are sold to the public. Their job is to protect the public health and safety by ensuring the safety of all human and veterinary drugs, biological products, medical devices, our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit radiation. They have been protecting us from harmful and dangerous products since 1906.
They are the reason we are able to eat without having to worry about dangerous and poisonous ingredients in our food. The Food, Drug, and Administration and Cosmetic Act of 1938 prohibits companies from making false claims about therapeutic effects of the drug and required the drug to be proven safe before it could be put into the market. Also, in 2004, the FDA stated that it now required all antidepressants to have a black box warning on the label to warn people about the negative effects of the drug could cause, such as suicidal thoughts and behaviors.
The FDA is also the reason why common allergens, such as milk, egg, fish, and tree nuts, are listed in food labels. It is also comforting to know that the FDA operates under strict regulations regarding their investigative procedures.
Globalization is the process of interaction between people, companies, and governments of different nations through international trade and investment. Globalization affects the environment, culture, political systems, economic development, and prosperity and human physical well-being in societies around the world. Back in the old days, people took part in globalization by exchanging products, ideas, and technology through trade routes and by sea. The famous Silk Road is an example of this, where not only goods were exchanged, but ideas, technologies, and sometimes even diseases.
Although the FDA does not operate on an international scale, it still exhibits many of the characteristics for globalization because the FDA interacts with people and companies all throughout the U.S. Also, the products they approve affects the environment, food culture, and the food economy. The products they approve also have a huge effect on the physical well-being of the U.S. population.
Also, on an international scale, the FDA is responsible for regulating products and food that are imported from other countries to make sure they are safe. This is why when you have traveled outside of the country, you're asked if you are bringing any products from that other country back with you to America.
Look, the Atlantic slave trade was when there was a shortage in labor in the Americas, so the Americans traded goods in exchange for slaves. Products being brought into the Americas can be compared to the products that are being brought to the FDA for inspection.
I guess we should all be thankful for the FDA, shouldn't we? The FDA, responsible for harmful ingredients in your food like high fructose corn syrup, which can have contaminants like mercury that are not regulated by the FDA.
Hydrogenated oils, which promote inflammation and increase bad cholesterol levels. And artificial colors, which have been shown to cause tumors, cancer, and hyperactivity in children. You may not have to worry about poisonous ingredients in your food, but you do have to worry about ingredients not only in your food, but in your makeup and cleaning products that can be slowly making you sick. You also have to worry about antibiotics in your food and poultry litter, which is essentially a mix of feces, feathers, and uneaten chicken feed in your food. In fact, there are many dangerous ingredients put in your food that are generally recognized as safe by the FDA.
But food isn't the only thing you need to worry about. Remember the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act we mentioned earlier? This act does not require cosmetic products or ingredients to be checked by the FDA before they go into the market. Many ingredients that are in cosmetic contain phthalates. Phthalates have been shown to cause damage to the liver and reproductive system in animal studies. In fact, the use of phthalates is banned in Europe but is still allowed in the U.S.
Overall, the U.S. is lucky to have the FDA because without them, Our food and the products we use could be hazardous to our health and safety, but they still have a lot of work to do in order to keep harmful ingredients out of our food. Thankfully, the Food and Drug Administration is currently working towards taking out some of the harmful ingredients out of packaged food, but they still have a long way to go. So, what do you think? Should we be thankful for the FDA protecting us? Or would we be better off without them approving food and drugs that are dangerous for our health?